All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jim, of course, and welcome to the second Wolf of Bricks live stream. I'm just going to take a couple moments before I get into a few things to make sure that everybody, not everybody, but as many people are coming on at the top of the hour. I know people come in and out. So I know the first minute or two is always awkward because sometimes the YouTuber thinks that they're talking into thin air, which they are to a degree. But here we are. Thank you in advance for the people that are joining later, and they're going to be watching this recorded on YouTube. Corey says, I do not think people knew about this. Well, first off, Corey, I'm very happy to see you. I was thinking about you today. I thought about shooting you an email, but I was like, Corey's usually on it, so I don't need to shoot him an email. So I'm glad you're here. Everybody could hear me okay? Is that correct? All right. I'm just going to. Okay. Got a lot of yeses. Hello from Scotland. Well, thank you for joining. So, just to announce a couple of things, during the live chat, you may see me refer to my phone. I'm not being rude or anything. Sometimes people will, for the people that know my phone number, will text me a question. Sometimes people will email me a question. I already have one question already. So we're just going to get into it. So the reason why I wanted to convene this live stream is because there were a lot of questions about the warehouse, right? And I know the warehouse video was maybe 2 weeks ago, but I wanted to just talk about some things. And if some people have questions, feel free to shout it out. I will do my best to answer as many as I can, which should not be a problem. Was about to go to bed. I'm sorry, John, if I'm keeping you up. Sergio, I appreciate that, Sergio. That's good stuff. So the warehouse video, right? That was something that, to be honest, I was surprised how engaging that video was, and maybe I shouldn't have been surprised. That was probably the most viewed video this year so far when it comes to a short period of time. It was just through the roof. Now the thing about it is, I guess maybe because I've done retail in the past, that I'm kind of numb to whether it's Lego, whether it's books or whatever. I kind of view it as just products, because if you're working with this stuff and you're putting them in boxes and things of that sort, it might be cool to take a pause and look at something if it's something that you haven't seen before, or something like that. But so I'm trying to multitask, look at comments and talk at the same time. Well, so let's talk about that. Ben says it was the most open I've ever seen you've been about your inventory. No, and to me, honestly, that's surprising, right? Because I'll have Patreon members. I'm just going to share this. We'll be doing their one-on-one consultation. It's usually the first one, and they'll say to me, "Whenever you say you have this set, do you really have that set?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, of course I do." Now, back whenever I was on that other channel, I did a video where I was filling up my garage with all kinds of boxes, and the big box car was taking all of my inventory to Richmond, Virginia. And there were some people that were like, "Oh, he's just filling those up with he's just sealing those boxes. There's nothing in it." And I'm like, "Really? Do you really think that I would do that?" And then whenever I had the storage unit, there was someone else that made a comment like that, and I really don't have anything to hide. Like, I'm not. I mean, I don't know how to say it. Um, Having people watch these videos and me, committing fraud by showing a bunch of empty boxes that I say is Lego, like there's really no motivation to do that. So whenever it came time to, I guess, with the progression, getting to the warehouse, I mean, it was a warehouse full of Legos. Now, I'm not trying to minimize that, because there was a lot of work involved, and there were a lot of things of my inventory that still wasn't on the shelves. They were still in boxes. They were just not retiring anytime soon. So it was interesting. I don't know. I've been to many warehouse many warehouses before, not for Lego fulfillment, but just whether it's automobile parts and other stuff like that. So I just looked at it as just another thing. And so to the people that were surprised, I hope you enjoyed the video. But at the same time, I think I had one thumbnail that was in the middle of last year during the summer where it said 350,000 of Lego. That, I mean, I wasn't making that up. That was the truth. Let me look at some more comments. When will the Mercedes pack go on sale? Hopefully, it'll go on sale 1 week before it retires at 30% off. Kevin Adams, hello, Kevin. I just like something that you commented on my phone. Thanks again for the commitment to your follow. So I appreciate that. So let's just talk about that before I just start letting it rip, because I enjoyed answering a lot of questions last time, but I want to try and have this be as interactive as possible. I would like to ask a bunch of you questions, just some hypotheticals, and see where you're coming from. Then I'll let you know if I agree with that, and if I don't think I'm going to disagree with anything, but I might come at it from a very different perspective, which might be beneficial to you. So very happy to announce. I don't know if this would merit a quote unquote announcement, but earlier today at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I had the pleasure of interviewing Nick, who was the winner of Lego Masters Season 3. Very, very happy that I was able to interview him. We had a great time. He has agreed that he has interest to come, eventually, not another week from now, but maybe once a quarter. I dealt once a month or something like that, and we could have engaging conversations that will be beneficial to the channel, because that's what we want to do here. We want to be beneficial to the channel. Now, of course, this is a Lego investing channel, but at the same time, Lego investing and Lego reselling is a very small niche, despite how many sellers of the Jeep Wrangler that you see on Amazon and all of those units. There's so many units of Jeep Wranglers that are available on Amazon, but it really is a niche area. So bringing in Lego Masters, and I've already made contact with some other Lego Masters that are winners, and some that were just contestants that didn't make it to the finals yet. They have interest in joining the channel and doing interviews and having back and forth exchanges. Another piece of information is I recently made a job offer to a person, a content creator, and they have agreed to join the Wolf of Bricks team, if you want to call it that. It's a very lean team, so I don't want to make it sound like we're something much bigger than what we are. I mean, it's obvious we have under 6,000 subscribers, so we're not that huge, but we are growing, and hopefully we'll be growing exponentially by the end of the year. Sergio says, I just barely started dabbing into reselling retired Legos. Your channel has given a good understanding on what to look for. Let's see. I'm waiting for that Mercedes. Okay, I already read that. Okay, so getting back to the warehouse, it was interesting. I had some people comment, and I don't, honestly, I really don't care if people leave negative comments. I don't get emotional about that. But I had some people comment about, there are some Bricklink boxes, and you're one of those people that are, preventing other people to get them. Well, if you notice, there was only a couple Bricklink boxes there, right? I didn't have a pallet of Bricklink boxes because I have the same opportunity as everybody else. And to be honest, I am not a fan. This is might sound counterintuitive, but I'm really not a fan of Bricklink sets and reselling them, because the quantity is very low. And if you have, I mean, short the ROI on it might be a little bit more higher, but I am over going on Lego Shop at Home at midnight. And honestly, I what I do whenever there's a release, I don't go on Lego Shop at Home. I'm not going to order anything. I might go on it, but what's the I should know this name of the channel because I know him. Brick Foundation. I'll go on Brick Foundation's live chat, and you could see sometimes he is able to order sets no problem. Sometimes he's very frustrated because the site goes down, and he has people that are typing away in the chat box saying that they're having issues. So the few times that I am at my computer at midnight during a Lego new release party, if you want to call it that, I just have no interest in doing it. If you're able to get a pallet of Stephanie's house, and I know Stephanie's is or Andrea's house, I think is the most recent one, and you're able to get that for 20 or 30% off, and you're able to do that during the day at let's say 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that's something that motivates me to take advantage of versus staying up at midnight for just a couple sets. Now I think I might get a couple bricklink sets for my home just to say that I have it and not have it in the warehouse. But honestly, I think the line is blurred whenever resellers are talking about reselling those bricklink sets. And what I mean by that is I think their collector side of their head is really excited about it. And it just doesn't jive with the reselling side of the head. I think they're cool for collecting and all that other stuff, but you really don't see me talk about them that much. Whenever the new selection comes out, I think I might do a video on them. But I mean, it's a rare set. I get it. Uh, let's see. Do I feel that there are too many Lego investors right now? Absolutely. And some people will say, well, that's your fault, Jim. I kind of tend to disagree. I don't believe so. I think I may have influenced some people. I've had some people have um what do you want to call it, a one-on-one conversation, and they're like, listen, you Shane's fault, welcome to Lego investing, that's where we talk about buying and holding Lego. I'll be good. I'll be good this video. But no, I really don't think I've done anything to proliferate it. I think I may have done a little bit, but here's the thing, right? And it's amazing how many people laugh at Bitcoin, and I laugh at Bitcoin to a degree now. I certainly didn't do it back in 2011, right? I mean, when Bitcoin went from $3 to $7, I was like, okay. And then when it jumped to 35, I was like, how can I buy this? And then when it hit 70, I figured out how to buy it, and I dropped 13 grand on it. But the point to what I'm saying is, if you get into anything that is popular that could bring you revenue and a lot of value, you have to get into it early. Well, how do you do that? Well, you have to look for it, right? So during the housing crisis, there was, there were a lot of silver and gold bugs out there, right? Around 2008. I really didn't even get into gold and silver. I have a half ounce gold silver eagle right here. But I really didn't even get into gold and silver till about maybe 2012, 2013. And like a year later, I got into Lego. So I missed the gold silver boat. Silver and gold may go, well, gold will go up before silver if you're talking large percentages. But I missed that boat, and I cashed out tens of thousands of gold and silver and went into Lego. So there are many things out there that can give you a lot of profit. You just need to look for it. Now, I know that's easy to say, but you just need to go down. By no means do I want to say dark web or anything like that, but you just need to surf around. You need to, spend 20, 30, 50 hours online just looking at chat rooms, looking at forums and things like that. And I'm certain right now there is something going on that is more profitable than Lego that I don't know about, that probably the majority of you don't know about, right? Now, if there's anybody that's watching this and you do know about it, make sure you email me. I would love to chat with you. So, yes, there talk about a super long answer to a question. I apologize, but there are too many people, but people will come in and out. I have purchased Lego lots from some people that wanted to get out of it. There are, I'm reading more and more stories. Dark Horse says Rolex. Let me tell you, the Rolexes are a lot easier to store. 100 Rolex Submariners are a lot easier to store than 100 Winter Village sets. Uh, but yeah, so I hope I answered the question. And I'm sorry I took 20 minutes to answer that question. Let's see what else. That was a great impression. Thank you. I'm flipping the Titanic. I have one Titanic, right? So we have, and this is a video that I've been wanting to do for a while, but I just don't have the time. Like I was supposed to put out a couple YouTube shorts today. I haven't recorded a single thing for next week, and the next, and I'm serious. I do think all of my videos are good, but when I really think it's good, I'm going to tell you the next video I have coming out is on the Ninjago dragons. Don't miss that. I'm not just talking about Ninjago dragons. I'm also covering when to buy something and when to sell something. There's a lot of good information. I wasn't exactly sure what I should call it because I had the intention to talk about the Ninjago dragons, but I was like, you know what? I'm covering so many other things and I'm using these Ninjago dragons as an example. Should I really keep it on topic with Ninjago dragons? But I am, but it's a really good video. But one of the videos that I've been wanting to do is, you have, and this revolves around Titanic, so I'm not going too far out there. But so you have a half ounce of gold, right? That's around $800. You have a kilo of silver, right? That's around $800, and you have $800 Titanic set, right? So the question to you is, which one is more valuable, right? So it all depends. It all depends what time it is. In 2008, probably the half ounce of gold was the most expensive. During another year, the kilo of silver was a little bit more expensive. But during Q4, the Titanic is the most expensive. So you always have to be conscious about what value is. And the last thing I want to do is mention, and I've thought about this for a very long time, is talk about Lego sets as a competing currency to gold and silver. Gold and silver is money, if you know what I'm talking about. But it's interesting how Lego has a lot of similar properties. Uh, so Matt F, I'm in the same boat, too many SKUs. But as someone else mentioned, you go for it. So I'm a huge fan of not going wide. And for me, going wide, if I have, let's say, and this, I don't think this has happened, but if I accidentally have 25 SKUs that are ready to retire during 1Q4, I think I've gone too wide. So I hope I was able to answer that. I mean, I like going deep. I like, and it hurts sometimes. I mean, I have 250 New York City skylines that I've had for a while. So that's not something that I am looking at. And I don't even want to talk about the ATSTs. But yeah, but I've had 400 Guggenheim museums. See. Hey, Jim, nice to see you. Well, it's nice to see you. I appreciate that. Hello from Croatia. Have not been to Croatia. Been to 21 countries, but I have not been to Croatia. The Mandalorian Forge set is already doing great. Okay. The value shot up after the most recent episode. Hope you have a few, Jim. And let's see what else we have. Rolexes. I really enjoy the vids. I've been following this for a while and sold recommendations. Appreciate it. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for following me. The flipping flip. Let me tell you, buddy. I want you to know I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody, but I appreciate you. I think I was trying to email you one time, and I'm not sure what happened. Few Lego set investors dabble in minifigs side. So minifigs. So I've actually been thinking about doing another video on minifigs, but I'm not sure how I should do it. Whether I should do another brick chats with someone who's into minifigs. That's probably how I'm going to go. Uh, and well, and here's the thing about minifigs, and I think I've said this to the public channel. So if I have already said it, I apologize. But I'm seriously considering collecting all of the Batman minifigs because brick shell cases. If you saw the video last time I talked about these cases that we're releasing, and we have partnerships with bricks and minifigs. I think maybe a third of the bricks and minifigs have the brick shell cases, right? But I'm really thinking about going hard into the Batman minifigs. But that's an $800. If you wanted to collect all the minifig Batman minifigures, that's $800. Is that something I really want to do? Just to say, hey, doesn't that look cool on my shelf? I don't know if I want to do that. I might do another kilo of silver. Brick James agree. Luckily, have a large storage area. What are you thinking about the new Technic? You know what? Let me Google that because I've seen it. I think this is the one I really like. Yes, I I absolutely love that set. Now, here's the thing, like, I don't know what everybody's thinking of, but when it comes to these Technic cars, with the exception of McLaren, because McLaren's, in my opinion, is just hot garbage, and it pains me to say that. It absolutely does. But a lot of these Technic race cars, I'm surprised are not going up in value as much as I think they should. And I'm not talking about the Technic Corvette. That's another set that I have 250 of. It's just terrible. But I think it's a great set, and I don't know. I'm not sure. Uh, will it go really high? I don't know. It's something that excites me. It's not doing some. It's not something that makes me want to do jumping jacks. But it's close. So we'll see. We'll see how that set goes during the course of the next 6 to 9 months. We have Q4. Is this going to sell out? Of course, we have a potential nuclear war. I mean recession. So we'll see how a lot of these sets turn out. I can take. Yeah, that's very true. You could take gold and silver to a pawn shop very easily. Lego sets, although I've recently seen a Lego set in a pawn shop. And before I forget, getting back to the last video where I was talking about the brick shell cases, the contest winner that I announced has not gotten back to me yet. So if you entered in the last contest, but you did not see the last video, it might benefit you to check it out because I have not received an email from them. I'm stacking the 9/20th anniversary golden Harry Potter minifigs. Yeah, I think that's strong. I think that's really strong. I mean, that would be cool to have a case of those golden minifigs. What are my thoughts on the release of the new Disney Castle? That's the remake, right? Um, so here's the deal. I would have to see it first, and I would need to see how it performs at recommended retail price. The Disney Castle that recently retired, I just wanted one for myself because that was such an expensive set. Although I am buying sets that are not as cheap, but I don't think I've graduated to the $400 sets yet. But we'll have to see how it goes. I mean, I have analysis castle. I have like 250 Elsa castles. of the $70 one, and then that $250 one came out like 6 months or a year later, and I was like, "Jiminy Christmas, what's going on?" I would maybe because of the Disney 100th anniversary slash celebration slash extra marketing, that might be something that would benefit that set. But I mean, I guess I really don't need to see it to give my opinion because it's a Disney castle. I'm not trying to discount that. I mean, a Disney castle is a Disney castle, just a different scale, right? So we'll see. Let's see. I'm sorry, Brick James. I mean, listen, every set I own, I wish would just sell immediately. But hey, I hope I'm wrong. For your sake, I hope I'm wrong. Would I sell or hold them at this time? What's it going for right now? Because I don't own the Disney Castle. I know lots of people that do. So you know what? I don't even need to know what it's going for because I have a question for you, and this is something I'm going to talk about at the Ninjago video. Is before you purchase any Lego set, you should already know what price you're going to sell it for. Now, some things might happen, right? That's not an absolute rule. There were some times where I forget what set. I think it was the Eiffel Tower. Like that first Q4 after it retired, it did not hit where I wanted it to go because it was over hoarded. It wasn't flying off the shelves like Mandalorian brickheads, but it was not at my price point. And then the next Q4, it wasn't at my price point. It was very close. And so I went ahead and I let it go. And I just took it for what I took it. So, if it comes to your Corey, if I had a quarter for every time you mentioned Wolf Farm, so if it's close to what price point that you had it at, go ahead and sell it. If you want to hold on to it. Depending how much quantity you have. Let's say you have 100 of those Disney castles. Now I understand that's a lot of money because that was such an expensive set. But I have people all the time that are like, these variables are what's going on in the market right now. I want to hold them. I have 200 units of it, but I'm not sure what to do because I don't want to, have not have a loss, but have a low ROI 12 months later. It might benefit you to just sell half of them, right? Because if you sell half of them now and you said to yourself, man, 12 months later, man, that was a bad idea. You still have the other half, right? And so that's just something to consider. Hello, Adam N. Do you ship internationally? No. I do not. I don't even know. No, I occasionally I will on eBay. That's about it. Where do you buy physical silver? So there's a website called silver comparesilverprices.com. There is maybe 8 major online retailers that have that, and I will pick what I like. So whenever it comes to the kilo of silver, I went to Provident Metals and I just got the cheapest poured bar. I like the poured bar stamp, the poured bar kilos or bars. I just like that. Wow, that's my first my very first. I don't even know what you call those. But here's a funny thing, and I apologize. I just segued into something. I'll circle back. Um, I have my first tip. Is that what you call it? I actually have been meaning to email you about doing a another Brick Chats recording. Uh, I will email you within the next couple of days. So thank you for that, and I will return the favor in the future. So I hope I answered that question when it comes to buying physical silver. Let's see. Thank you, Flip and Flip. I feel like we've known each other forever, and we haven't even emailed each other yet. Dark Horse, I'm going to Brickfest, Hartford, Connecticut tomorrow. Good job, Jim. It's a business, right? Yeah, it's a write off too. Let me tell you. So, talking about taxes. So the trip to the warehouse, right? I got there on a Friday and I left on a Monday. And as long as you're conducting business, the during the weekday, that Friday and that Monday, it is a tax write off. So that is that's something good. And I know we're kind of late into the tax season. I haven't even started my taxes. The deadline is tomorrow. Uh, and but I'm very excited about the person that is going to be handling my taxes. So just to recap, I was very excited about this accountant I had. He was in Beverly Hills. He knew his stuff inside and out. But I ended up firing him, and to be honest, I regret it. I regret that I fired him. There was I did it because of just some timing things, and it took forever for him to get back to me. But I do regret doing that. And then I got this other accountant guy, and honestly, the only reason why I kept him for a year was just because he made me laugh. Like I would call him all the time and leave him a voicemail. And the one time I would call him, I'd say, "Hey, how's it going? I finally got a hold of you." He'll say, "Jim, I promise you're on my list. I was getting ready to call you in 5 minutes," and he said that every single time. And I was like, "Okay, this guy is making me laugh, so I'll keep him." But I have a tax attorney now, and I absolutely love this guy. My taxes are not done yet, and that's my fault. That's not his fault. So it is very, I don't think it's a good idea to bring him on the YouTube channel and do an interview with him now because tax season is mostly over. But I'm thinking about in October and November doing an interview with him if he meets my expectations, and I actually think he'll exceed my expectations. Uh, and I will hold on to that video and probably play it in January because that's his busy season, right? I don't want to bother him in January, and then I'll share it, and hopefully he could share a lot of good information. Troy, good to see you. This is 2 nights in a row, Troy. Minifig collections are pretty fun. I had the Lord of the Rings. Oh my gosh, the Lord of the Rings minifigs would really be cool. And you talked about that last night too during the Patreon group chat. But before I forget, Dark Horse, you're talking about Brickfest, Hartford, Connecticut. So Brick and Nick, the winner of Lego Masters Season 3, who I interviewed this morning, I'm hoping to have those videos posted next week. He went to Brick Fair, Virginia last year. This year he's going to Chicago. I don't think they call it Brick Fair, but they're going to Chicago, and all the Lego Master winners will be there. And I think a team from Australia will be there too. And I'm almost tempted to go to the Chicago one instead, but I think I'm going to still do Virginia. So if there's anybody in the Virginia area, or if Kevin Adams wants to fly from Australia to Virginia, I would look forward to seeing you. Hello from Belgium. I appreciate that. Looking forward for next videos. I'm trying. I haven't recorded anything yet for next week. I have the slides for one ready. And I also need to. I'm so behind because I was on spring break. I need to record that Ninjago video. There's a video I'm recording for Patreon members on ungating from Amazon. So whenever I help people ungate from Amazon, I'm pretty much one-on-one with them. I'm very intimate with the process. So I've really never thought that I've needed to do a video recording, but I need to do it because there was one gentleman that asked me for that because he's having issues. So that's a second recording, and that's not even going to be on the public channel. So I have a lot of stuff that I got to do. Looks like there's a lot of comments. I apologize. I'm trying to keep up with them. Okay, so Rudy asks, "What? How do you determine what price you're going to sell it at?" So just to recap, I said, before you even buy, you should know what you're going to sell it for, right? Don't be one of those people. Now, there are very, very, very rare exceptions, right? Don't want to be one of those people where you're like, okay, if I buy this set at this price, which I can, it's a great discount and I listed at this price. This is 150% after fees and all that other stuff. I'm good to go. And then it starts selling, and you're like, wait, should I raise the price? It all depends with sales velocity, right? So whenever I did those 200 brickheads in 90 minutes, that should have went at a higher price. So looking at prior sets is performance is a good idea. It's very difficult if you're interested in buying the new Disney Castle that's coming out. What what it's going to do, because you just had one that just retired and it hasn't even peaked yet, right? So uh, there's a lot of factors, but sometimes, so for architecture, right? Whenever I got into architecture, like 10 years ago, over 10 years ago, um, I just looked at that theme. I just broke out a spreadsheet, man, and that's the thing. I mean, some of these things take time. Doing a brickheads, if you want to regret your life, do a spreadsheet on every single brickhead that was ever released, what the return on investment is. That takes hours and hours and hours. But the great thing about that is you learn so much. And I think I've used this as an example before. You will learn that 90% of the brickheads that have more than one character in it, whether it's the Mandalorian with Child, whether it's Yoda and Luke Skywalker, or it doesn't have to be a Star Wars set, will do will do either very well, or it will do well enough to where you say, you know what, I don't regret buying that set. That set did a solid for me. So those are some tips, if you want to call it that. So, let's talk about Morgan. The flipping flip says, "Hey Jim, level with us. Whatever happened to Morgan?" I have no problem talking about Morgan and Morgan, and I think I already shared this with the Patreon members. If I called Morgan today and I said, "Hey, can you do a video for me tomorrow?" She would. She's such a nice, sweet person. Morgan has way too much stuff going on in her life. And I don't say that in a negative way, I say that in a very positive way. So, for those of you that don't know, I live in Kentucky, right? Now, I don't know if you know this, but we have a special type of chicken in Kentucky where there was this colonel. He put together some herbs and spices, and we have this chicken, right? Well, so everybody knows about Kentucky Fried Chicken, but nobody knows about Claudia Sanders. Who is Claudia Sanders? Well, Claudia Sanders is the wife of Colonel Sanders, right? Now, there's probably thousands of Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurants, but there's only one Claudia Sanders restaurant, and that's where the actual recipe is. Why am I bringing this up when we're talking about Morgan? So, Morgan is a commercial real estate realtor. That's what she does. She also has many other hats. I'm trying to think of the magazine. She works for this one magazine, but she practically runs it herself. It's like a fashion magazine. So she has her hands in a lot of things. And getting back to Claudia Sanders, selling that restaurant is a huge amount of time that's consumed because they're not just wanting to sell the Claudia Sanders restaurant, they're also wanting to sell the brand. And what that also includes is the baked rolls, like you'll be licensed to whoever purchases it. They'll also be able to be licensed to put those rolls in supermarkets and things like that. So there is a lot of stuff going on with her. And when I reached out to her, I said, listen, I said, you know, a lot of people. Do you know somebody that would like to partner with the YouTube channel? And she said, yes, me. And I said, well, are you sure? Like, are you really sure? Because I know you have a lot of stuff going on. And she's like, yes, absolutely. I want to do it. Tell me what you want to do. And I said, okay, be careful what you wish for, right? And that was it. And to be honest, like she and I never had a parting of ways. It was never like, hey, I got so much going on, I can't do this anymore. It was just, you know, she completed the last video, we were done, talk to you later, and we just never connected. And to be honest, I try not bother her too much because she is so busy. It's Kentucky Derby season here, even though Kentucky Derby is many weeks away. It you only see the 2 minutes of it on the television, but there's weeks of planning and all this other stuff with fashion and the fashion magazine she works for. So I hope I was able to answer that question. I've seriously thought about you know, inviting her to one of these or you know, doing another video just to say hi. Let's see. You don't offer investing advice, just entertainment. That would get you in trouble. So here's the deal. I mean, there is some truth to that. I mean, I when I was talking to another person on a different YouTube channel when we used to be together, I said, "Listen," I said, you know, there's sports and there's sports entertainment. This isn't. We're not doing financial advice. This is considered, you know, I guess financial entertainment. I guess that way there's we wouldn't be held liable. So we don't give financial advice. That's why whenever I talk about things, I always say you might want to consider instead of you may want to pick up. I always make sure I use that language carefully. FBA, FBM, which is better? My opinion, FBM. I know some people that love FBA. That is a hill they will die on. And if they love FBA, God bless. When it comes to cost, time, pros and cons. So let's just talk about that, right? Um, if you are new to reselling, whether it's Lego or I don't know, model tanks on Amazon, I think that the very first year you should do FBM because you're going to be very intimate with your business. You'll know it. I don't know if you'll know it like the back of your hand because it's the first year, but you'll know a lot, right? Now there will be some times where people will say, "Listen," and I've been there. They'll say, "Listen, I don't like staying up till 2 or 3 in the morning on you know the days of December." And I'll say, "Well, next year why don't you send 20% of your inventory to FBA and think of FBA as your assistant?" There's nothing wrong with that. Sending them 10 or 20% of your inventory, you know, during the last quarter of the year and evaluating if that was something that was beneficial to you. You know, I think that's something that's very important. So I hope I was able to answer that. All right. How goes it been been doing well holding on to all the past early 2022 GWP, selling them like hotcakes. ROI 1 billion%. Disney train up house. And I am going to email you very soon, I promise. A donation. It's called a donation. Thank you. That was my first donation, and I will remember that. Newcastle is approximately the. Yeah, we'll have to see. Well, and here's the deal, man. Anything with Disney, and guys, chime in here. Anything with Disney that involves Mickey is pretty much going to print money. Not, yeah, I would say you wouldn't regret buying it. There's some that will be better than others. So when you're talking about the Disney Castle, I always associate Mickey and Minnie with the Disney Castle, right? So it should be due. Corey says you're busy working on taxes since they are due tomorrow. No, I have an extension, brother. I feel bad. This is I'm checking my phone to see if anybody has sent me a question via text. Um, Flipping flip, I just got your email. Thank you. I will reply to you later. Thank you. No, I got an extension. That's the second year in a row that I've done an extension. The only two times I didn't get my taxes sorted out for last year till August. And let me tell you, if you have a spouse, that's not something that they're usually comfortable with. But it all worked out. Um, yeah, actually, that's right. Taxes are due on the 18th. Thank goodness tomorrow is a weekend. I just found this channel. I used to watch you all the time on the old channel, huh? I thought I thought you quit YouTube, Jim. Glad this showed up in my recommendations. Well, see, that's the interesting thing, and let me tell you, I don't want to go there. I do not want to go there, um, but I get that occasionally. I get that occasionally where they're like, "I just discovered you again after a year and a half." And the funny thing is, and I have the receipts to show it. I have the emails when we were divorcing and we were deciding who gets the children, whether it's an email list, the YouTube channel, the Patreon, all of that. I said, and this is documented. I said, one alternative is I could take over the YouTube channel and I could introduce you, once a month and do whatever and kind of publicize that your YouTube channel until you get to 1,000 subscribers. And he was all for that. But whenever I said, you know what, I'm just going to break away and I'm going to create my YouTube channel. That offer was not extended. And to be honest, that was okay because I was 100% confident in my ability to grow a YouTube channel. And now I have a feather in my cap with the winner of season 3, Lego Masters, that I really can't wait to share with everybody next week. There are a lot of questions, so I'm hoping I'm able to get to all of them. I have 48 minutes after the hour. That's a second mention of the Mandalorian Forge. Okay, that's good. Love the channel. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. Dustin Mayo. I've ordered Lego on Amazon a few times, and the boxes are murdered before arrival. The Razor Crest was double boxed. So let me just add to what you said. So this Batman set right here, not the classic one, but that guy, which is in a brick shell case, available at select bricks and minifigs. Um, when I would order 29 of those, and because I think that was the limit, I did that like 5 or 7 times, right? And the first 2 times I opened up the box, they were all packed right, but there was one, it looked like somebody punched it, right? And the second time that I got the box, the same thing happened, right? And I said to myself, and who really knows what goes on during that, right? Um, and I said to myself, I wonder if the picker at the Amazon warehouse is just trying to shove one in there. So I would order, I think the max was 29. I would order 28 and it was fine after that. So I mean, there's no excuse for getting damaged sets, but I try to just navigate around those speed bumps. Uh, some sellers said if I double my money, why not sell and then use it to invest on the next set? That's true. In your opinion, is it better to do that or wait until it hit the price target? So here's the thing, right? So you that is a very good question, and I'm going to answer it, but I also want to add to it, right? Because I think the second piece of that is going to be equally, if not more, as valuable, right? If you are making a good return on investment and you're happy with that return after the fees and taxes, and it is December, you may just want to let it go. Because at the end of the day, is that extra 10 or 20% going to be that big of a deal if you had that money on the shelf another 10 months? And that's a thing. I've said this a long time ago, and maybe I need to say it more often. When you go to your spare bedroom, your storage warehouse, or wherever it is, your storage unit, and you open it up and you see those Lego sets on the shelf, you should not think about those as Lego sets. You should think about that as money. And how long is that money going to stay on the shelf? I will get the question occasionally, and just to let you know, if there's one thing I hate is whenever I'm watching a YouTube short or a TikTok, and they're like, "People always ask me." I'm like, "No, nobody is always asking you." But um, I do talk about this on occasion where, let's say you're wanting, and here's the other side of the coin. You're talking about selling. Let's talk about buying, right? So right now, and I'm going to do another retirement video on 2022 because I feel like there needs to be some closure for 2022. There's still some sets available and all that stuff. Let's say you're in a predicament where there's this Lego set that you really like. It's retired and it's 20% off and you want it. All right. You should not be not buying it because you're waiting for that set to go to 25% off or 30% off because you think it will because it's retiring. Because if you choose to wait and that inventory dries up, guess what's going to happen? 2 years later, you're going to go on Amazon. You're going to look at that set that you never were able to hold because, as I said one other time, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And you're going to say to yourself, was it really worth waiting to see if that was going to decrease in value by another, 5% and get it for 25% off? Um, so I hope I was able to answer that question. I feel like I answered that maybe 80 or 90% of that. Yeah, Amazon does not sell mint condition boxes. Uh, no, I was not Shane's employee, and that's the thing, Corey. You're great. You're whenever you would do the Patreon group chats, you were you asked the hard hitting questions. Uh, no, we were 50-50. I mean I flat out said to him one time, I said, listen, we need to separate. Either I need to buy you out, or we need to dissolve the company. And it turned out that he kind of bought me out. Um, and he sets your. A lot of people think that I don't know why. I was the one that came up with the YouTube channel in 2016. Uh, any sets you're targeting for May the 4th uh, at home pro? No. So here's the deal. Let's talk about May the 4th. I'm Each year I'm getting more and more excited about May the 4th. Now that doesn't mean I'm not excited this year. I mean honestly, if I had one complaint about May the 4th is there's a lot of sets coming out May 1st that I think should come out May the 4th. I'm like, these are really cool sets. These are exciting sets. Why don't you have them come out May the 4th? I don't understand why that is. You bought a bunch of Wally brickheads, so are you okay with flipping? Yeah, so let's talk about Wally. Not necessarily Wally, but I like to throw the Home Alone house into this. So there will be opportunities where during Q4 things will dry up, right? And I'm bringing up the Home Alone house because that is Christmas centric, and it should sell out. Now, you don't want to go too crazy, right? You don't want to pick 5 sets that you think are going to sell out and then buy 100 of them, because if they don't sell out, even if they do, you're probably only going to uh, sell a fraction of that, right? But I think the Daily Bugle sold out its first year. I think that a lot of times there are some things that are more obvious than others. Um, so I don't like, if you call it scalping, which I have no problem with that. I said last night during the Patreon group chat that there's this one YouTuber who a few months back did a video on how they don't like reselling and scalping, but then the next a couple months later they go into a bricks and minifigs, and they grab a slave one UCS, right? So that's kind of like saying that you're a vegetarian but you still like to eat cows. Like I just don't know, it just doesn't sit right with me. But anyway, um I'm not too worried about that, because that's not something I usually do, and if it doesn't work out, it should not. It will impact me at a minimal level. So I hope I was able to answer that. I think Obi-Wan Kenobi's $30 jet Starfire will print money. Okay. Damage boxes happen. He had a video on this. Yeah. And listen, I get it, man. So here's the deal. I get it on damaged boxes. It's frustrating. I also get it when there's a guy on YouTube that says, "Listen, you just got to suck it up," because because I feel like that's the way it comes out sometimes. But at the same time, I thought about talking about my damaged sets, because there was a shelf that had damaged sets. There wasn't a lot of them, but there were some. I think one was maybe a Winter Village and one was an Ninjago Dragon or something like that. And it happens. And I'm not, I mean, I know somebody that had a lot of Technic Porsche RSRs, and they came delivered, and then they were damaged, and then they bought them at Walmart in good condition, and then returned the damaged ones. I'm not condoning that, but if it bothers you that much, then you may want to go ahead and do that. Um, Yeah. So Jim, you have a great point. The classic Batmobile. So I was optimistic when the classic Batmobile, and I have that right there, was came out. I was like, sure, that's going to go on discount, right? And I think maybe once or twice it did, and it was sold out. So you got to weigh it, man. I mean, so you know 120% ROI and 150% ROI, which one is better? It's a trick question. They're both good. So when you're making great return on investments, then you should, like, I don't want to say suck it up, but I mean you got to move. You got to make that decision and move on. And something that this is something I heard a long time ago, and it always sticks with me. And I share this whenever the opportunity presents it. Is no decision is worse than a bad decision, right? So if you're just not sure about buying that, it will probably be a bad decision, because you won't buy it, and then you'll go on Amazon 2 years later and you'll say, "Oh my gosh, I should have done that." CM Retro Gaming, thank you for being here, CM Retro Gaming. I've seen you're commenting a lot on my channel, and I appreciate that. I wish they would make more F1 license sets. I agree. Do you follow the Formula One series on Netflix? I mean, let me tell you, I really wasn't into Formula One until I saw that, and that's what gave me such a opinion on McLaren. But yeah, I agree with that. My buddy Troy, if you had to pick a single set right now to buy at MSRP, to hold and resell, what would it be? Probably none. And the reason why that is because the trash compactor set at Walmart, which is an exclusive, um, is on discounted right now. Um, if I had to, I would have to look. I don't know off the top of my head. I would have to look at ooh, there, Troy, are you sure you want me to share this with the people? There is this is what I'm going to say. And Troy, whenever I say this, I think you'll know what I'm talking about. If not, uh, no, not that one. Okay, there's a Disney and Friends set um, that I believe is retired that you could still get at one of the retailers for full price, and and I would happily, with a smile on my face, pay full price on that and get hundreds of them. Um, I started watching the Netflix show now, so I'm playing the PlayStation games and I'm hooked. Cool. A Wally. Yeah. Wally. You could. Yeah, $15. That's a great set. And it's sold out a lot. One of the Lego issues I struggle with is diversity. I'm not sure if I want 100 Star Wars battle packs or 50 battle packs of Speed Champions. That's tough. You know what? I would almost put the battle packs and the Speed Champions in the same category because I don't want to say I feel that they've peaked, but some things need to happen for me to be doing jumping jacks with Speed Champions. If that Corvette set that I have a palette of um, wasn't everywhere still, I would be quite happy. But it is what it is, and yeah. How do we get 10,000 units of Wally? Well, you would need to find a tractor trailer and hold them up at gunpoint and tell them to get out of the van. That's probably the best way to do that, and I don't condone that. Yeah, many visits to the Lego store. That's right. Uh, this is the way. Does Lego Land have it? Or I don't know about Legoland. So I was actually at Legoland briefly at spring break. I was at the Legoland in Columbus, Ohio, and let me tell you, I do not. Some of you may be saying Legoland at Columbus, Ohio. Yeah, I was saying the same thing. Um, I do not recommend going there. There was one ride, and the rest was it was like an indoor playground. But they have a gift shop, and that's the interesting thing. They have like a Lego store, and then outside they have an actual Lego store, and they don't communicate with each other because I think they're two different companies. But the Legoland did not have Wally. Yeah, don't over diversify. That's very good, Jim. Uh, Made that mistake. First to hear. Yeah, the one at Easton Mall. Yeah, yeah. So that was. Let's see. Yeah, yep, absolutely correct, Troy. Uh, well, and also too. I mean, if we're talking about Columbus, Ohio, you have Legoland. You also have the Lego store, and then you have that massive Barnes and Noble, right? And I actually was a manager at not that Barnes and Noble, but another Barnes and Noble where I got fired. I actually, if I had the time, I thought about doing a video because it's been a while since I've been in a Barnes and Noble, and I said to myself, well, I might as well go to the one that I was fired at, right? And we could go and see what kind of stock they have. But the Easton Town Center Barnes and Noble is huge, and they really don't like. They have a lot of good sets, and I don't think they really know how good the sets are. I mean, and I don't know if it's because it's such a huge mall. Arnold Schwarzenegger owns a piece of Easton Town Center. Because it's such a huge mall, people don't go to that Barnes& and Noble to seek out Lego, so there's a lots of good things there. Um, of all the Disney anniversary sets, which set do you think will be the best investment? Almost all are good. So let's talk about a set that I think will not be a good investment, and I would love to hear feedback on this. That Brickhead set with the Steamboat Willie and the other 3, I think. I'm not that huge of a fan of it. I was expecting it to look a lot better. I don't know what everybody's thoughts are on that though. Uh, I'm just I'm just not a huge fan of it. Uh, this is my challenge as investor. I liked Lego in general. Very hard to pick sets to go deep in. Well, let me tell you, man, and I don't go on Brick Picker as much as I used to, and Brick Picker is great, and there, just like with any Facebook group, right? There will be some toxic people in there, but you have to filter through that. Like I would not be talking to you today if it wasn't for Brick Picker. So I have nothing but great things to say about Brick Picker. I briefly had exchange emails with the two brothers that own Brick Picker, and I feel like we're never going to talk again. I don't know what happened there, but about 10 years ago when I was on Brick Picker, uh, there would be people that would comment and they would say, I'll just open up my spare bedroom and I'll see those Lego sets that I bought to resell, and I just want to open them all and build them. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about, right? I'm like, this is, and I don't want to diminish it, but this is product. This is retail, right? I mean, and like with everything, whether it's handbags or shoes, you'll have your favorites, right? But you don't want to put all of those shoes, all those sneakers on and play basketball every day of the week in different shoes. Um, let's see. So I have 7 after. I do have to go no later than 30 after, just FYI. Uh, but who knows if I'll make it that far. What the heck happened to Brick Picker? It's so dead now. It used to be so much more active 5 to 10 years ago. People have aged out, man. I mean, listen, the forums, that's just not Brick Picker. There was this gold and silver coin forum that I would go to religiously. I think it's called realcent.org. It is nothing like it used to be. I just platforms change. TikTok, I'm not going to say I'm pro or anti TikTok. Well, actually, I will. I will. I'm very pro TikTok, but I don't want to go into the politics of it. The only thing that I will say, and this is everybody should know, the same thing that our lawmakers in America are accusing TikTok of doing. That's the same thing Facebook, Instagram, all of those other things are doing too. So, they tried to ban Tik. When I say they, Facebook, Alphabet, all of them have tried to ban TikTok because it is a new media. So today, one of the reasons, and feel free to laugh, it doesn't matter to me, but something as trivial as a recipe, right? So today I made stuffed chicken breasts. They were really good, by the way. If I typed up that recipe on Google, I would have to go and read a blog, and there's like 1,000 words before I actually get to the recipe. On TikTok, in 30 seconds, listen, here's how you do it. Boom, boom, boom. Very convenient. Yes, the 2 days ago, I saw on TikTok live protests in France. I saw a chemical fire in New Jersey. I saw so much news that is being underreported. And again, we're not going into politics, but the older, Facebook, a lot of people like the millennials and the Zoomers feel that Facebook is antiquated. They think Facebook is boomer territory, right? Well, imagine what they think of a forum like Brick Picker or Real Scent, right? It's just the way it's changing. Um, that one is a slam dunk if it retires at the end of the year. You might be right. You might be right. So the Mickey in that brick pit in that brickheads was a little too blocky for me, and I know that's weird to say because it is a brickheads, but if you look at the colorized Mickey Mouse, I said to myself, um, that's a very good looking set, and it's going for a large amount of money right now. One of my strategies is to go heavy on Star Wars Target exclusives and Walmart exclusives. Tony, that is a very, very good strategy. Uh, Good evening, all. Good evening to you. Let's see. 5 times VIP on May the 4th. Are you serious? Oh, for Dark Trooper helmet? What? And that's the thing now too. Like back in 2012, Lego had triple VIP point day, and sometimes there was at least 1 or 2 times I saw a picture that someone posted of like 4 times VIP points. So maybe they should do that since they have so much inventory. 5 times in store only. Okay, well that's fine. All right, so I was going to keep it going till 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, but it's starting to die down. I guess I'm going to do the last call for questions. If anybody has that question they'd like me to answer, feel free. Otherwise, I'm going to put a lid on it um, very soon. For those of you that have joined, that have left, and for those of you that stayed, thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. Like I said, it's always nerve wracking when you first click live because you don't like you feel like you're just talking to nobody. But I'm super excited about the Lego Master winner for season 3 that I interviewed. I'm going to have that out next week. I'm going to have a couple clips on the public, and then the whole extended version of that will be on the Patreon forum. So let's see, just one last look. Yeah, Walmart Vader meditation chamber retired and is not doing good. Yeah. And you know what? Here's the thing about that meditation chamber. Back in October, I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to start giving out retired Lego set once a month during the year of 2023, and I bought a couple of those. So that's one set I'm going to wait till like October, November, December to give out. Hopefully, things have changed. Troy, thank you. Let's see. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Brick James. Yeah, and I'm just I'll close it out here. But for those of you that came in late, I'm just going to say the winner to last month's contest has yet to reach out to me. So if you entered in the contest and you haven't seen that last video, feel free to check it out. I might have drawn your name. I'm trying to remember who it is. I'll shout it out there real quick, and then I'll put a lid on it. I have so many windows up, it's insane. Okay. All right. Looks like I'm not going to be able to do it. And I think I know the name, but I don't want to say it in case that's the incorrect one. All right. So thanks, everybody. It was good chatting with you. This is my second one. I enjoyed doing it. I think I'm going to do these once a month now, as long as I have time. Barely had time to do this, but I wanted to do this. I have absolute fun doing it, and I hope you did too. Take care.